The legendary rangers show up on the cliffside posing for a little bit because it looks cool. In another video, not this one, I could pore over how some of these suits should just physically not be there. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And for somebody who claims to hate it, I sure do talk a lot about Megaforce, don't I? Anyway, ever since I reviewed the legendary battle, I've been thinking about how the hell those rangers got there. Now, of course, I can't cover any Sentai teams seen in wide shots because honestly we have zero basis in how those guys showed up, but I figured it was my job as Power Rangers god of YouTube to try and break down how the hell all these powers are somehow still active for this battle. But the kicker? I'm gonna do it without using Time Force to grab everyone. That's right. The only time Time Force are gonna do any time traveling is on themselves. Will I fail? Almost guaranteed. Warning, the following is essentially fanfiction. At all times I have attempted to gather canon examples but have heavily filled in the gaps with made-up falsitudes. Enjoy. So let's start with the easy ones. The core 5 MMPR Rangers all can still technically access their powers, as demonstrated by Adam in Space. It's also been 20 years since the damage that occurred to them happened, so I'm sure they had some time to do some kind of repairs. And even if they didn't, for the short duration of the battle, I'm sure it was doable. I see this as being the OG lineup of Jason, Billy, Zach, Trini, and Kimberly, although Trini could also be Aisha. But what about Green Ranger Tommy? I'll get back to him in a little bit, along with White MMPR and Dino Thunder Black. Alien Rangers need no explanation, their powers were intact, so Zeo. Well, again, this is very easy to explain. The Zeo crystal was never destroyed, so I perceive this to be our successor lineup of Adam, Tanya, Kat, and Justin and Rocky. That's right, I threw a curveball. I theorise as the Zeo powers were up for grabs and a certain other team could easily use turbo powers, I believe Rocky assumed his previous role that he held in MMPR as Zeo Red and Justin became the Zeo Blue. But you're probably thinking, isn't he the Blue Turbo Ranger? I'll get there in a sec. But what about Gold? It's Jason, right? Nope. Trey of Triforia. Y'all thought I was gonna struggle with Gold, huh? Wrong. That's right. Trey returns to assume their powers for this battle. And now Turbo. And it's also reasonably easy given our Zeo explanation. I would say that these are the Robot Turbo Rangers, including young Robot Justin. Everyone always seems to forget that there was a Robot Justin when they include the Robot Turbo Rangers, but I digress. In Space is simple again, the lineup being Andros, TJ, Carlos, Ashley, Cassie, and Zane. They only retired their powers, and we've seen Andros assume his Ranger form in Forever Red. Same goes for the next 4 actually. Lost Galaxy just retrieved the Quasar Sabers, Lightspeed and Time Force's morphers were intact at the end of their seasons, and Animus restored the Wild Force powers. Next we move to Ninja Storm. Now, while their powers were destroyed at the end of their season, in the team-up episode Thunderstorm, we see that even Lothor is capable of making wind morphers. So I have no trouble believing over the course of 10 or so years, Cam would be able to make them all new morphers, especially if evil were to rise again to this degree and cause that balance in the force problem they talk about in Ninja Storm. But this does now mean we move on to the most difficult couple of seasons to figure out. Dino Thunder ends with the Rangers sacrificing their abilities to destroy Mesagog. However, we have a couple of ways we can cheese this, but I'll touch on the second one when we get to SPD next. My current theory is that the Rangers managed to recharge their Dino Gems on Onyx just as Broodwing had done in Power Rangers SPD. And speaking of SPD, remember when I said I wouldn't use Time Force? Unfortunately, there really is no other way of bringing SPD to our current timelines other than with the wormholes seen in the episodes History and Wormhole. I know it's cheesy, but really, other than trying to explain that SPD takes place in the present day, I can't do this one. However, this does present us with a bit of an interesting opportunity to do some time travel shenanigans to explain one of Tommy's doppelgangers. What if, during the events of the SPD episode History, the SPD Rangers are alerted to the history books where they and the Dino Thunder team appeared at the legendary battle, and sent themselves back to the past along with the Dino Thunder team with their fully charged Dino Gems? That's right, I think it would be insane, but what if the Black Dino Thunder and Green Tommy are actually from different points in Tommy's timeline? Kinda works, right? Look, it's the best we're gonna get, okay? Mystic Force and Operation Overdrive again did not lose their powers and can retrieve them at any time. And the Super Megaforce team and Samurai teams found a bridge to the RPM universe, so either the Gokai Galleon, what is it called in Super Megaforce, or that Dimension Train could have brought them through. Samurai also all retained their morphers. Oh, and very quickly, Blue Centurion, Ninja, and all the other extra heroes all generally kept their powers too, so I have no real problems with that. And that explains it. Oh, Fuck! Megaforce has bested me. Psych, idiots! We know for 100% fact that Gosei created Robo Knight. Sure, he was out of action for a season, but I reckon that's just enough time for Gosei and Tensu to be working on building a new robot. And putting Robo Knight's hard drive or essence into the new chassis. Alright. So, Tommy. Okay, well this is just straight up fanfiction, but it actually goes a long ways to explaining that wrong helmet that they had to digitally alter out of the finished episode. We know that Tommy's a scientist, and we also know he was walking around since the end of MMPR with a cracked White Tiger coin and Morpher. My explanation for why he still has Saba and was referenced as the White Ranger not only fixes that and the weird helmet, but also explains a long-standing mystery from Operation Overdrive as to why Alpha was in that box in Angel Grove. I believe Tommy, after Dino Thunder, began to miss his OG dinosaur days. He travelled back to Angel Grove, perhaps for a high school reunion, and there he again met with Jason Scott. They reminisced about Forever Red, and Tommy told Jason of his desire to fix his MMPR powers, should the Earth need him again. Jason understood and returned the Dragon Dagger and Shield, hoping it would help in his efforts. Perhaps this also inspired Jason to fix the other 5 power coins later on. With this, Tommy got to work. He found Alpha, an upgraded version of the robot that had helped make his original White Tiger powers in the first place, and the two set about recreating them. They used the White Tiger coin as a base, but its energy was largely gone. Instead, they recast the metal and tied its energy to the Dragon Dagger's connection to the morphing grid. This created a completely new Dragon coin from the White Tiger coin, and this explains the new silver on the helmet, something Tommy had once dreamed of, and so asked Alpha to incorporate it into the design. Unfortunately, during the creation of the coin, the base's auxiliary power was exhausted, and Alpha had to channel his own battery into finishing the coin off. This unfortunately powered him down, and Tommy put him into storage where he could slowly recharge and not be interfered with by kids or thugs. But he told the other Rangers where to find him should they need him, and a year later, Adam Park did just that in Once a Ranger. I did it! I actually explained every single power. There's the White Ranger in the long shots. Fuck! Snake! Well, I tried my best. But hey, maybe you've got an explanation. Based on this theory, can you find a way to get the White MMPR Ranger into that battle? Because I fucking can't. As always, leave a like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, and if you feel like donating to my Patreon or Ko-fi, that would be super duper cool. And until next time, may the power protect you always.